Hello everyone, this is part 4 of chapter 1, that is Introduction to Electronic Communication, and in this video we are going to learn what is signal and channel bandwidth. So there are two types of signals are present. So the important criteria to categorize the electronic communication is by the type of signal to be transmitted. There are two types of signals. There are nothing but the analog and digital. So this is the analog signal, which is continuously varying with the time. So analog signal is a continuously varying voltage or a current that take on continuous values. So a sine wave is a typical analog signal, and voice and video voltages are analog signals. They can be transmitted over the time. The second type of signal is a digital signal. So a digital signal has a discrete states that take on discrete values. So it has only two distinct levels, high and low, or on and off. So binary data is a typical example of a digital signal, and here in the picture we can see the graph of a digital or discrete signal. When we transmit this analog or digital signals on a channel or a communication medium, the noise gets introduced into the signal. So in the communication system, the received signals are weak, and hence noise is a serious problem when this noise gets introduced with this weaker signal. When the transmission is over short distance and when very high power transmitters they are used to transmit these signals and signal strength is good, then noise is not a problem. But in most communication systems, weak signals are normal, so noise becomes a significant factor in the design of communication equipment. So noise is most problematic in receiver because the receiver has the responsibility for amplifying the weak signal and recovering the information reliably from this weaker signal. The amplitude of noise compared to signal is very important. The relative strength of the signal and the noise is given by the term signal to noise ratio, that is S by N. So this signal to noise ratio is just a number that indicates the relative strength of the signal and noise present into that signal. So here this signal to noise ratio is also called as a SNR, and it is defined as the ratio of signal power to the noise power, and it is often expressed in decibels. So the stronger the signal and weaker the noise, the higher the S by N ratio, or a signal to noise ratio. If the signal is weak and noise is strong, the signal to noise ratio will be low and reception will be less reliable. So it is very important, the signal to noise ratio must be as high as possible. So noise affects the sensitivity of the receivers by placing a limit on the weakest signals that can be amplified. When we transmit these signals on a communication channel, so the channel bandwidth is a very important concept. The frequency range between the lowest and highest frequencies that are passed through a component, circuit or system with an acceptable attenuation is known as a bandwidth for it. So all transmission channels of any practical interest are limited frequency bandwidth. So each channel has the limited frequency range. In between that frequency range only we can transmit the signals. So that is called as a frequency bandwidth. The limitation arises from the physical properties of the channel or from deliberate limitations on the bandwidth to prevent the interference from other sources. So most of the data communication systems seek to maximize the amount of data that can be sent on a channel primarily for economic reasons. So greater the bandwidth of a channel, the greater amount of data can be sent in a given time. So the transmission of signals in a binary form can acquire considerably more bandwidth than an equivalent analog signal. Here are some examples are given. So example 1, for the transmission of voice, a bandwidth of about 3 kHz is sufficient. So we know that the bandwidth of a voice or a frequency of a voice ranges between the 300 Hz to 3000 Hz, and the normal range of human speech that can be extended approximately from 20 to 20 kilohertz. The most intelligible sound that occurs in the VF range, that is nothing but the from 300 hertz to 3 kilohertz, and that's why for the transmission of your voice a bandwidth of about 3 kilohertz is sufficient. Whereas if the music signal is to be transmitted, a bandwidth of 15 to 20 kilohertz is required because of the high frequencies and harmonics produced in the music with different musical instruments. That is, music contains more information than voice, so which requires more bandwidth for the transmission. So the another example, if we consider a video signal or a picture, it contains more information than voice and requires more bandwidth, nearly in between 4 to 6 megahertz. So from these two examples we come to know that if the range of frequency increases, channel bandwidth must be higher to transmit that signal. On the other hand, in digital transmission, if higher the number of bits transmitted in a given time, the greater amount of information can be transmitted. But if bit rate is high, wider bandwidth is necessary for transmission of the data. Narrowing the bandwidth of a channel will cause the harmonics in the binary pulses to be filtered out. So here, the harmonics, they are nothing but the extra portion of the amplitude that will appear in the binary pulses, and that unwanted the amplitude of that pulses we have to filter out. The upper cutoff frequency of the channel is approximately equal to the channel bandwidth. So it is the bandwidth that determines the information capacity of the channel. So here are the questions based on this topic. Define the serial to noise ratio, signal to noise ratio. The stronger the signal and dashes the noise, the higher the signal to noise ratio. So you have to fill in the blank. Define the channel bandwidth. So these are the questions. Solve the questions. Thank you.